Everybody good? Most fun you can have on Thursday, ain't it? All right. Might as well have fun. In case you didn't know, we're one of those feel-good churches. Religious folks, they won't criticize us by calling us that, but I say it's good, you know. I mean, shoot, there's plenty of stuff in the world make you feel bad. I think if y'all go to church, y'all feel good when you leave. It is good news.
Yes.
In fact, you know, if you're going somewhere where you feel beat up when you go, I'd quit going. All right. Hey, I just want to talk to you. Is that all right? I just want to talk to you. Because, you know, you hear me say all the time, right? Faith comes by hearing. Faith comes by hearing. It also says that the just shall live by faith, not by sight.
That's right.
Not by sight. Well, I think, okay, faith comes by hearing, so you can hear, and faith comes, but just shall live by faith, but not by sight. That means faith not by sight, not by sight. That's kind of a contradictory, where faith is not sight. With me? Because I say, here's what I just want to talk about tonight. I just want to talk a little bit about miracles. Would that be all right? Because here I think, you know, faith comes by hearing, and we want to, does anybody in here need a miracle? Would anybody in here like to be part of a miracle, or part of miracles, see miracles? You know, we serve this God. If you read your Bible, this God that we've got is a God of miracles. I mean, miracles like crazy, big stuff in here. And so I'm thinking, you know, us down here, the more we get out and stripped out of the box of religion, the more that we get away from religion and get God out of the box, the more the things of God flow. The more power you see, the more God you see, who He really is, more miracles, more healings, more stuff happens. The more you get out of that and let God out of the box. And so I've said this. Now this, I'm going, gosh, some of you, everybody say this, I'm a hearer. I'm a hearer. Yeah. So don't shut me off, all right? I'm going to say this. Ready? God is only as big as you let Him be.
That's right.
Some of you might squirm on that and you think, now God's big. Oh yeah, God's big. I'm not saying that He's not big, but I'm saying that He's only as big as you let Him be. He wants to be bigger than He is. You know, it's like I said before, whether you believe you can or whether you believe you can't, you're right. Right? So there's power in what you believe. Power in what you believe. So I just want to kind of talk about miracles a little bit. That way we're people that have heard about it a little bit. And if you've heard about it a little bit, you're going to get a little bit of faith for it. And if you get a little faith for it, faith works. Before long you're going to be living in it and seeing it. Is that fair enough? I don't want to be like these people say. Because here's the deal. We've seen some miracles yesterday. Alright? Yesterday. So after miracles happen, then you got people that are excited about it. Then you got people, religious people. Let me just read you some stuff, alright? Let me soften you up before I whack you, alright? You got, Miss Marilyn, you got New Living Translation, don't you? Would you look up Matthew 21? Listen to this, Mark 11. Mark 11. Listen to this. Now, okay, Mark 11. Is the Bible true?
Yes.
We believe the Bible?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. It says this in Mark 11. Oh, let's say this. This is where Jesus cursed the fig tree. Jesus cursed the fig tree. All right, so we'll pick this up here, and the disciples are kind of amazed by it, you know. And it said this in verse 22. And Jesus answered, saying to them, "Have faith in God." Or really, in translation, if you really break it down, He really said, "Have the faith of God." have the faith of God. In other words, the same kind. Have the faith of God. Truly, I say to you, whoever. Now you could say, well, now he's talking to the disciples. Those are the apostles. That just happened to them, not necessarily us, right? Jesus said, whoever. Are you whoever?
Yes.
Anybody here whoever?
Yes.
Is anybody here not a whoever? Just want to make it. I want it to be so clear that them dog could get it. Whoever says to this mountain, be taken up, cast into the sea, and does not doubt in his heart, but believes that what he says is going to happen, it will be granted to him. Therefore, I say to you, all things for which you pray and ask, believe that you have received them, and they will be granted to you. Believe that you have received them. That word believe, it means fully convinced. Fully, completely convinced. All right, it says be completely convinced. Completely convinced that you have received them. Have received. Now I barely squeaked through school, so somebody help me. Have received. Is that past tense, present tense, or future tense?
Past tense.
Past tense. Be fully convinced that you have received. Past tense. Have the faith of God. Whoever says and believes and does not doubt, fully convinced that he's already received, he will have what he said. I'm just talking about faith here. Faith is faith, because here's what to say. We see, okay, I'll just tell you. I didn't ask if it's all right to tell this, but I guess it is. I'm going to tell it anyway. She ain't here, so y'all don't know who it is anyway. I don't care, think she'd carry it anyway. But one of Chris's friends, we prayed for her yesterday. She's been here. She works on Thursday nights. She's an ER nurse. Works like all night and stuff. I don't know. But anyway, so she'd been diagnosed. She'd been diagnosed with leukemia. And she also had a tumor in her foot. Make her legs swell up. She worked all day, nurse, on her feet all day. Her legs swelled up and all this. She'd already took a round of chemo, diagnosed with leukemia. Had that knot on her foot, but she wouldn't let him work on the knot on her foot because she had to keep working. She had to. She had to work. Had a tumor. Wasn't that cancerous too? I believe so. Cancerous tumor in her foot. And so, okay, well, so Chris all said, well, no, we could pray for her. Well, yeah. So here we go. This is yesterday. And so she wanted to know more about communion. You guys, if you've been here, you know we do communion and what we believe about that. And we see people healed all the time and stuff. And so anyway, we talked to her about that. We took communion. I said, all right, now here we go. Let's deal with this foot right quick. So you got a tumor in your foot. Can you feel the tumor in your foot? Yeah. I said, well, check it. Make sure it's still there. So she checked it. Yeah, it's still there. All right? I said, all right. I grabbed her by the hand and spoke to her foot. And so I said, okay. I just said a little bit, no big long prayer, nothing. I said, check your foot. So she's checking her foot again. She's looking around. You can kind of see a little funny look on her face. She's digging around. And she said, well, I had to search for it. It's a whole lot littler than it was just a second ago when we started. It's gone. I had to search for it. It's a lot smaller. I said, all right, let me have it again. I got her by the hand again. I said, this time you say it with me because I'm not always with you. You got the same thing I got. So here, you say it with me. And she said what I said. And we cursed that tumor and called her healed and this. And so I said, all right, check it again. And she's checking again. Well, she's digging and looking. See it on her face, Oh, Chris, she's trying not to lose it. Carry on. So it's gone. She starts saying, she's saying, all right. I'm talking about right before her eyes. I'm not, right before her eyes. She's saying, she's digging around. Oh my God. Oh my God. She said, oh my God. I'm not kidding. She said, I'm freaking out. She's beside herself, It's gone. It is gone, all right? So yeah, big deal. All right, so they have a little out there a minute. So I said, okay, now let's get on that leukemia. We went after leukemia. Of course, you can see that, and I know it's gone too. And so it ain't all big deal, right? It's awesome. It's a miracle right before our eyes. What I'm talking about here. Right before our eyes, cancerous tumors disappear. You say you don't believe, you say whatever you want. I don't care. I know what I see. I know what I saw. You can believe it and live in it, or you can not believe it and not live in it. It's up to you.
Right.
So then later on, she gets home later, well, she didn't tell me this. We didn't even pray for this. So she texts Chris later, and Chris texts me and says that I didn't even know about this. She didn't say anything about it. Well, she had a tumor in her breast as well. So she gets home. She didn't say nothing to me about it. Maybe it's uncomfortable to talk about all that. I don't know what she didn't say anything about it. We didn't even talk about it. She gets home, gets checked for that. It's gone too. So that's a big deal, right? It's a big deal. I'm not talking about some Bible story. I'm talking about somebody right here that's been amongst us that we know, that we can look at, that it's not. I'm talking about real life healing and miracle. But here's what I want to tell you. Then people, everybody's talking about it. It's kind of a buzz about it. But then you got religious people that sit in an old denominational church of some kind. I won't pick on one certain brand, but about all alike. They'll say, well, we believe God can do miracles. We believe God can heal if He wants to, or what. We never see any of it, or this. It said, I'd believe if I could see it, right? I believe that it'd be a little easier for me to believe if I could see that. You hear me? I wrote this down this morning. Listen to this. Faith works, right?
Yes.
It said this. Faith is word-based, not sight-based. Faith is word-based, not sight-based. Not sight. It's not based by what you can see. It's based by the Word. All right? Let's stay with me on this. Most people say, I'll believe it when I see it. And they end up not seeing it.
That's right.
When we decide to believe based on the Word without seeing, that is when seeing happens.
Amen. Yes.
I better say it one more time for you. Faith is word-based, not sight-based. Word-based, not sight-based. Most people say, well, especially religious people, especially church folk, I'll believe it when I see it. And they end up not seeing it. When we decide to believe based on the Word without seeing, that is where seeing happens. Or I say it like this, that is where miracles happen. Where miracles happen. When you decide to believe that this is the truth, that this overrides what you see, this comes by hearing, you got to hear this. And when this becomes more of a reality to you than what it is that you can see, that's the place that faith works. See, I've seen where it says hearing, faith comes by hearing. There's hearing on this side, but faith isn't by sight. So it's hearing in a sense on this side, but not a sense on this side. Come on. Faith comes by hearing, but it's not coming by sight. But when you hear it enough, and see, faith does the work. Faith does the work. It says this, that now faith is. Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is. When?
Now.
When? Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So you want proof of something that you want proof, but you can't see it. All right, so if you want proof, you want evidence of something that's there, but you can't see, faith is the evidence. Faith comes by hearing. Faith is believing that this is more of a reality than what it is that you can see or feel. And when you get to the place where this is your reality more than what you can see, that's the place where faith does the work. Faith works. Faith does the work.
Yes.
Faith does the work, not you. You believe. shows up because of hearing. You can say faith, or you can say we got faith, you know, but faith works. Faith is proof. Faith is evidence. We've said we've had faith, and we do to some degree, but it's just like eating. You see that boy's arms there? Faith, it said have the faith of God. Everybody's been given the measure of faith. Everybody in here has faith. But it's just like your muscles. You're not going to get more muscles. You got every muscle you're going to get right now. And you can sit on the couch your whole life and eat tater chips, and they ain't going to grow and they ain't going to get no stronger. But you still got them. Faith works, I'm telling you. And then, no, he gets in there and lifts all them weights, and that's work. Now, for the faith muscle, don't grow by work. The faith muscle grows by hearing. That's what I'm talking about. Because you can sit there and hear something, and your faith gets stronger. And faith works. All right? Oh, read. What did I tell you to read? Let's see. Matthew 21, 18 through 22. Now speak up. In the morning, while Jesus was returning to Jerusalem, he was hungry. Oh, I like that, don't you? Hey, he was hungry. If Jesus was hungry, I think we ought to be hungry. Huh? He noticed a fig tree beside the road. He went over to see if there was any figs. There were only leaves. In other words, there's no fruit on that tree. Fig tree. I'm not going to get on that. That's another deal, right? Then he said to it. Well, he said to it. Okay? He spoke to a tree. Okay. I want to make it clear. May you never bear fruit again. And immediately, the fig tree withered up. Immediately. I'd say that's a miracle, wouldn't you? All right, keep going. What did he say? The disciples were amazed and they saw that and asked, how did the fig tree wither so quickly? Jesus told them, I tell you the truth, as if he had to say that. If you have faith and don't doubt, you can do things like this and much more. You can even say to this mountain, may you be lifted up and thrown into the sea, and it will happen. You can pray for anything, and if you have faith, you will receive it. Now, you already agreed to the fact that the Bible's true. You know, the only thing that hinders Jesus is unbelief. That's my place. I'm in a war on unbelief. No belief doesn't stop Jesus. I'll even go out on a limb and say wrong belief doesn't stop Jesus. Unbelief hinders Jesus. Here, let me show you what unbelief looks like. I ain't believing unless I see it. Unbelief. Let me show you this one. I'm just going to put some belief in you, all right? Let me read you this. I'm just going to read you some stuff. We're just talking. Everybody all right? We're just talking. This is 1 Corinthians 12, where Paul's talking about all spiritual gifts. Everybody knows what a gift is, right? It's free, right? A gift is free. Listen to this. Oh, let's see. I'm going to start about... I'll just read there, verse 4 maybe. Now there are varieties of gifts, but the same Spirit. And there are varieties of ministries and the same Lord. There are varieties of effects, but the same God who works all things in all persons. But to each one is given the manifestation of the Spirit for the common good. For to one is given a word of wisdom through the Spirit, and to another the word of knowledge according to the same Spirit. To another faith. Faith is a gift, according to this, by the same Spirit. And to another, gifts of healing. Gifts of healing by the one Spirit. And to another, the effecting of miracles. According to this, there's a difference between healings and miracles. This is going to help your seeing. Well, let me finish this. To another prophecy, to another distinguishing of spirits, to another various kinds of tongues or other languages, and to another interpretation of tongues and other languages. But one and the same Spirit works all these things, distributing to each one individually just as He wills. Okay, there's a gift of healings, and there's a gift of miracles. Do you know that we dismiss healing a lot of times because we don't instantly see? But you can have healing without miracles. See, they're two separate things. Sometimes healings can happen gradually, little by little, overnight, 3 days. There's a lot of ways that it can happen. But here's what happens. Unbelief will say, well, okay, somebody prayed for me, healed, whatever, was lay hands on, healing. You don't see it immediately. I like seeing it immediately. I like miracles. I call that a miracle. But according to this, there's a separate deal of healings and miracles. Just because it's not miracles doesn't mean that healings aren't happening. And what happens is the devil will say, see, you didn't get a miracle. And then we automatically flip over to what we're seeing. All right, you be healed. All right, healed. All right, check yourself. Check there. Uh-oh, the tumor's still there. Well, I didn't use it. Well, it's not working. What? Now we immediately switched over to sight. Now I'm not saying not to have sight to look to see if it's gone, but that's not what your truth is based on. Because they say, yeah, okay, we might not have got a miracle, an instantaneous thing, but it doesn't mean that the gifts of healings is not working. It may not be miraculous. It may not be instantaneous, but it's working. It's working. Faith works, see, and it's not by sight. Just because you don't see it does not mean that it's not happening. We got to quit living in this stuff of what we see. Well, I didn't feel it. Well, I didn't see it. It must not be working. That's not faith. I'm sorry. I know we've heard this stuff where we say, oh, little sister so-and-so, she's never missed a church every time the door's open. She's been in church and now she's fighting cancer and all this. Now don't be condemned. Let's just talk about it. Oh, if anybody ought to get healed, it'd be her. She's so faithful. She's so full of faith. Now what is it about going to church 3 times a week makes you think that she's full of faith? She's committed to going to church. What in the world does that have to do with faith? She's probably heard law preaching, condemning, and the law is not of faith. I'm just telling you this because I don't want to be the only one seeing miracles. I want you all seeing it. You don't need me. Jesus said, look, the things that I do, you'll do. You're going to even do more. And Jason would say the same thing. The things that I do, you'll do, and even more. It ain't about me. I'm going to tell you, I just decided to believe this word, and what it says is true. I don't care what it says. I don't care what you say. I don't care what my body says. I don't care what anybody else says. This says that if I lay hands on the sick, they recover. That's what it says. Now, just because I don't see it immediately does not mean that I don't believe it anymore. I like seeing it immediately. I like seeing miracles. I'm going after miracles. But just because I don't see miracles does not mean the healing's not happening. And the devil will say, see, you don't see it. You're not seeing it. It's not working. Must not be mine. Must not be my day. Or this, that. You can't find that in the life of Jesus. And if it ain't in the life of Jesus, you just throw it out. Anybody like to live in miracles? Anybody like to see miracles? If you're going to see them, you're going to have to start believing you got them before you see them. Well, let me read this again. Mark 11. I think it's a different story. It's similar, but I think it's a different story because the one she read in Matthew said immediately the tree dried up. This one says the next day. So anyway, the next day the tree dried up. Jesus said this, have faith in God. Truly I say to you, whoever says to this mountain, be taken up, cast into the sea, and does not doubt in his heart, but believes that what he says is going to happen, it will be granted to him. Therefore I say to you, all things for which you pray and ask, believe you have received them, and they will be granted to you. You know, first thing I always say is, if we're going to get the results that Jesus got, we need to do it the way Jesus did it. Jesus, okay. Everybody say, we love Jason. We're not mad at him. Okay, here we go. Jesus never had a prayer list.
That's right.
Jesus never had a prayer chain. Jesus never begged God.
Never.
Jesus never told you to pray for the sick.
That's right. Yeah.
Just get rid of unbelief. Because the devil is a rascal and he's like a crooked lawyer. He'll hang you up on technicalities because he's out to prove that you're not fully convinced. See, when it comes to miracles, when it comes to healings, it's not God that has to move. God's already moved.
That's right.
We've spent our time trying to talk God into moving. God's already moved. God's already done what He's going to do. It's the devil that's trespassing. It's the devil that's got his stuff going. And if anybody's going to get healed or see miracles, it ain't God's going to move. It's the devil that needs to move.
Amen.
And us begging God and all this prayer chain and prayer list and this and that, all this unbelief, that ain't moving the devil at all. He's sitting over there laughing saying, I ain't going nowhere because they don't know nothing. They're living by sight. They're living by unbelief. They don't know the Word. They ain't spoke to the mountain. They've been begging God about the mountain. Jesus said, speak to the mountain. Hey, you might think it's crazy, but I don't care. I'm a child of God, and I live in the kingdom of God, filled with the Spirit of God, and miracles is a way of life in the kingdom.
Amen.
Jesus modeled that. So you think it's crazy, but I'm telling you, right here's my witness. You think we went up there and gathered hands and sang Kumbaya and begged God to do something? No. We spoke right to the foot. Spoke right to the tumor. And what happened when the tumor? What happened when the Son of God spoke to the tumor? The Son of God got what He said. Because He didn't doubt in His heart. And He believed what He said, that He had it already before He even said it. Now what if it didn't work right there in front of our eyes? What if it didn't work right there in front of our eyes? I like it when it does. That's what I'm going for. What if it doesn't? Do we automatically switch over to sight and say, well, it's not? No. It says believe that you have received. Regardless of what you see. Regardless of what you feel. This is the truth. And the devil might fight you a little bit on it. He might try you just a little bit just to see if you're fully convinced. And if he can get you to waver and prove you're not fully convinced, he ain't going nowhere. If he tries you a little bit and you say, you know what, I ain't basing my truth on what I see. I ain't basing my truth on what I feel. You lying rascal. The Word says I'm healed and the Word says I have what I say and that's the way it is. I'm not budging. See, I'm going to be hard-headed about it. Hey, is there any cowboy in you? Amen. I say, cowboy's not a job description. Cowboy's not just a job description. Cowboy's an attitude. It's a way of life. I believe in the Cowboy Translation Bible, one of the fruits of the Spirit is long-suffering. Yeah. Cowboy Translation, hard-headed. You're going to have to be hard-headed. You're going to have to grab a hold like a bulldog and say, I ain't turning loose, I don't care. You got any grit in you? Hey, Paul said it's a fight. The good fight of faith. It's a fight. This religious mess has told us to be all passive. Hey, you know what? Well, if you're in a fight, you could be in the ring and you could just go through the motions and dance around the corner and never actually engage. I'm talking about finding out who you are and squashing your head down a little bit and engage. And we're no longer being defensive, but we're being offensive and we're going after it. I'm just telling you this, I believe in miracles. And you might as well hear about it. Because I don't want this bunch right here sitting downtown at the coffee shop saying, well, we don't ever see no miracles. Because we don't ever hear about miracles. And we really think, I might believe them. I believe God can, and I don't know. I'd have a little better time believing it if I could see it, maybe. I'm going to keep on till this bunch ain't got any of that mess in it. Hey, CD bunch, you all either. YouTube bunch, howdy. I'm going to preach down to y'all too.
Yes.
Unbelief, hey, war on unbelief. Anybody with me?
Yes.
Now we're going to see miracles? Are we who this Bible says we are? Do we have what this Bible says we have?
Yes.
Well, we can either talk about it and say that all we want, or we can start living in it and ask God to show us and do it in us, because faith does the work. But guess what? Faith produces. Faith produces. Now, if you don't believe that somebody's going to get healed, if you lay your hands on them, then you won't lay your hands on them. That's happened. Plenty, right? Me. Have I laid hands on everybody I saw that need healing? No. Why? Apparently, now let's just be raw. Let's just be honest about it. Apparently, I didn't believe that everybody I lay hands on will get healed. If I did believe that, right? See, it'd be like if they said, hey, tomorrow, down there at J.C. Penney's, washers and dryers going to be on sale. Any set you want, fancy, plain, whatever, both of them you get in washer and dryer tomorrow only, $99. Now, if I'm credible and you believe me, you're gonna be at J.C. Penney's in the morning, ain't you? Ain't you? Whether you need one or not, you know somebody needs one, right? Now, did you going down there produce anything? Did you going down there cause the washers and dryers to be on sale? No, you got up and did something because you believed what you heard.
Right.
You believing is what produced the power for you to get up and go downtown. Believing produces. If you didn't believe it, you wouldn't have went, right? I'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to be sitting up there and seeing which of us. Just kidding, just kidding. I made that up. There's not a sale or anything that I know of. But if you believe me, you believing that produced something in you to cause you to go down there and get one. You mustering up your going isn't what produced it. It was already produced. It was already happening. You heard about it, believed it, and that's what produced. That's what I'm telling you now. Hey, it's not washing dryers on $99 sale that I'm telling you about. It's that you are sons and daughters of the Most High God. And sin has been placed on Jesus. You have none, and His righteousness has been put on you. That gives you every key, every access, every bit of everything in the things of heaven. You've got it all. You are not lacking any power. Good. I'm going to keep on telling you that until you believe it. And then you're going to be down there at J.C. Penney's laying hands on people. You're going to be seeing people healed. You're going to see miracles. Hey, does anybody want to live in miracles? Would anybody like to have that just be a way of life?
Yes, sir.
Where everywhere you went, every single day. It ain't about Thursday night. It ain't about Sunday morning. It's about everywhere you go. Anytime you see the work of the devil, you put that lying rascal on the run. Because you've got every bit of power. You've got every bit of authority. You've got every bit. You've got heaven backing you.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you again next week until you start believing it, all right?